Channel Fort here, and if you are looking to get good at PvP without having to rely on your friends, you've came to the right place. First, I recommend going into your settings and making a few adjustments. First, go into video settings, scroll down to FOV effects, and this is typically at 100%, and we're going to turn this off. This will make PvP a lot easier. So next, what you're going to want to do is go back into options and go up to FLV. This is typically set at normal. I recommend putting it somewhere between 90 to 100, 105. I have been using it at 95, and that seems to be pretty great. So 95 is a pretty good spot for FLV, but definitely put it like over 90. This will help with your PvP skills. Another thing I recommend doing is going into controls, going into mouse settings, and make sure your raw input is turned on. Another setting I recommend doing, which you probably already have it like this, is auto jump. Turn that off for sure. Okay, so the next thing I recommend doing, since we are going to be training by ourselves, which is really nice, is going into the Nether and building a simple arena such as this. It doesn't necessarily have to be this large, but this just allows more running room. And once you get a little bit better, you're going to want more than one enemy to fight at a time. Once you have an arena like this, I recommend getting diamond armor, such as this. You could put unbreaking on it as well if you want. Mending, I found, is plenty enough for it to last without breaking. Put mending on a sword. That doesn't really matter too much, but I did it anyway since I was doing the armor. And the other thing you're going to want here is you're going to want piglin brute spawn eggs. This is what we're going to be practicing the steps or the skills I will be teaching you. For food, golden apples is nice because it gives regenerating. So if you do get low, you just pop a golden apple, your health gets back up. Normal steak is just really good for food saturation, so I recommend doing that. So essentially now there's three types of attacks. There's the normal hit, there's the sprint hit, and there's the crit hit. The two best attacks are the sprint hit and the crit hit. Crit hits do 50% more damage. They also have different sound effects, which honestly is probably the easiest way to distinguish between the attacks, because sprint hits and normal hits are very similar sounding. This is a normal hit. This is a crit hit. Crit hits happen when you're falling down. Normal hits can happen when you're just standing still. As you see, I didn't even move at all there. Sprint hits are a little bit more difficult. For sprint hits, you actually have to sprint at your enemy. They're highly rewarding because when you successfully land one, they send the enemy backwards a lot further than a normal hit. When we take a look at this clip here, I land a sprint hit, followed by a normal hit, followed by a sprint hit, followed by another sprint hit. As you can see, the sprint hit actually knocks back the brute a lot further than the normal hit here. I'm going to play it one more time at normal speed so you could listen to the sounds and see the distance in knockback. Oh yeah, one thing I want to say is I am by no means extremely good at PvP. In fact, I would say that I am probably bad. But if you master the tips and tricks I'm going to teach you, then you can become extremely good at PvP. This Piglin Brute is standing at the middle of the block he's at, and I'm standing at the middle of the 3-block radius. So when I swing, I can hit him. This is my maximum reach. So ideally, this is where you want to actually be attacking your enemies, because any closer than this, they can hit you while you can hit them. The very good PvP players are going to be hitting you at maximum reach distance, which is at that 3-block distance. So you're going to want to train. It does actually, like, when you're looking at it like this, right, it does actually seem like a pretty far distance, and that's because it is. Okay, so another tip I want to teach you is attacking with your attack speed. So for a normal sword, your attack speed is 1.6, which you can see right here. Now, to fully take advantage of your attack speed, you want it to reset, because if you click it too soon, you're going to be doing a lot less damage. However, there's a way around this. You only have to let your attack bar recharge to about 85% of the bar, which means you can actually attack faster than the 1.6 attack speed to do the full damage. You actually don't have to wait for the attack bar to get all the way up to apply knockback and to do a good damage. This is what happens when you don't let it recharge at all. As you can see, it was still somewhat effective, but that's only because I was facing a mob that just kind of runs at you in the same direction every time. But I did significantly less damage, and he was allowed to get in a bunch of hits on me. The next strategy I want to go over is holding combos. What are combos? Combos are when you're hitting your opponent and you're knocking them back, so they can't hit you, but you can hit them. And they're locked in a combo where the only way out is for you to either miss your attack or for them to back up and reset the playing field. Combos are a lot easier to do, obviously, on mobs, because like I said, they typically run at you in one direction. So you can hold them into a combo. However, this is great because it allows you to practice. I'm showing you the type 1 attacks because I'm not very good at sprint hinting yet. I need a lot more practice. I found that Piglin Brutes are great to practice sprint hinting on because of how fast they are. And they do significant damage to you, so it's very punishing if you get too close to them to try to do a sprint hit. Sprint hits are great for allowing you to start start combos, because it sends your opponent back a lot further than a normal hit. So the next type of attack I want to go over with you is the crit hit. This does 50% more damage to your opponent. As you can see, you can take down a Piglin Brute in 5 crit hits with a diamond sword, regular diamond sword. The only thing that's can be punishing about the crit hit is it has significantly less knockback than a normal attack, which can leave you vulnerable to getting comboed by skilled PvP players. Crit hits can only be landed when your player is falling. And one bonus strategy you can actually do with crit hit playstyle is, since you don't actively have to be the one to jump to land a crit, you just simply have to be falling. So what this means is when your opponent actually hits you, you go up into the air. So you can counter attack their hits with crits. I'll show you right here. As you can see, I landed 5 counter crit hits in a row against that brute. Obviously, this isn't a playstyle that you would exclusively use because it leaves you vulnerable to getting comboed and getting crit by the opponent you're facing. However, at the right opportunities and fights, you can land crits that can completely change your PvP battle. So practicing landing counter crits can be very useful. As you can see, I wasn't landing my counter crits there very well, and I almost got killed. But it's very good to practice with Piglin Brutes because they do so much damage that if you miss your counter crit, you're probably gonna die. See, I had that one where I landed 5 in a row, but it's not always that easy because it is a very small window since you're not actually getting knocked up that high into the air. See, I only landed 3 right there. So now I want to get into some bonus strategies. This is things that you probably won't be using on PvP servers that are just sword fights. But if you're playing with your friends on personal servers, or who knows, maybe you're even good enough to do Minecraft manhunts. I know I'm certainly not, but if you master these skills, you might be able to be good enough. And these are actually extremely helpful in PvP to the point where you can actually win matches when you're actually outnumbered by 2 or more players. And this involves the use of lava buckets and cobwebs. It can really help you in 1v1 battles and also in battles where you're facing with multiple opponents at once. The thing is, if this is on a personal survival server, your opponent will probably have a water bucket, which means they can put themselves out. So practicing this in my single player arena isn't always the best. However, you can still practice placing your lava bucket quickly and picking it back up, so your opponent can't just water bucket it and then you lose your lava bucket. And this also makes it so the opponent you're facing is a lot more vulnerable, right? Because if I'm setting them on fire, then they're going to want to use their water bucket to burn them out, which then this allows you to either land a big crit on them or even a sprint crit, or a sprint hit, which can put them into a combo. Obviously, you can't really do this with Piglin Brutes because because Piglin Brutes don't really care if you lava bucket them. They're still going to be running at you at full speed. All right, let's see if I could finish this guy off real quick. Yeah, he was low. The other thing to keep in mind is when you're fighting PvP where you're allowed to get cobwebs and lava buckets, your opponent will probably have a water bucket, which puts out the burning, and it also destroys cobwebs. So you have to keep that in mind. But the thing is, cobwebs are extremely good at slowing down opponents to the point where you can kind of just absolutely destroy them with crits, or even use TNT to blow them up. That's just some bonus tips I thought I should point out in case you are someone that likes to fight your friends on personal servers. Maybe go get some shears, go into a cave, and gather up some cobwebs, because they are like extremely strong. If you cobweb your opponent and they don't have a water bucket, I mean, you're just going to instantly win that fight. So yeah, practice these tips, and I mean, the best part about this whole thing is that you can do it by yourself, single player. You don't need a friend to do it. And honestly, if you can master these really simple tips and tricks I've taught you while using your maximum reach distance of 3 blocks, you'll be in really good shape, and you'll be impressing your friends and your foes on in opposing tournaments. So yeah, good luck, and Channel 4 out.